Hola amigos, my name is Julio Foppoli and I want you to speak Spanish like a pro.
The vocabulary analysis we'll do today is key to improving your listening skills. After all, vocabulary and comprehension go hand in hand. The more vocabulary you know, the easier it is to understand people. That's why today we'll be analyzing the vocabulary from this conversation. You'll be surprised to see how many useful new words and phrases appear in this short dialogue. Even better, they are used in real life all the time, which is what really matters. Comencemos. Let's get started.
And this whole conversation begins in la sala de estar. Sala de estar means living room or lounge, but you will also hear native speakers referring to the sala de estar, as living. For example, I'm in the living room. Estoy en el living. And Tom begins the conversation by saying some insults. You know that this is a way that we could use to represent insult, not necessarily these particular symbols in this specific order, but in general we use these special characters to show it's an informal way of showing insults. This is especially used in comics. So after some insults, Tom says, "No lo puedo creer. 5 años en pareja y me hace esto. I can't believe it. 5 years en pareja, in a relationship, or living with someone. When you say that you are en pareja, estoy en pareja, this means that you are with someone, that you are living with someone, or you are in a relationship. Y me hace esto. 5 years in a relationship, 5 years living with someone, and this person does this to me. Me hace esto." And here goes another insult. Y su suegra means mother-in-law, su suegra says, "¿Pero qué te pasa?" ¿Qué te pasa is a common way of saying, what's wrong with you? Right? ¿Qué te pasa? And then, ¿por qué este griterío? Why all this screaming? Griterío could also mean shouts, cry, uproar, depending on the context. In this particular context, it's more like screaming. Why all this screaming? Otra vez problemas con mi hija. Otra vez, again, right? Problemas con mi hija. So problems with my daughter again? And the conversation continues. No sabe lo que me pasó. Ayer llegué a casa después de un viaje de negocios y cuando abrí la puerta del dormitorio, no sabe lo que me pasó. You don't know what happened to me. But pay attention to this special use of what. What as lo que. And many of you think, well, but isn't what just que? And that's a good question. Let's have a look at that. In questions, what is translated into Spanish as que or cuál. For instance, if I say, "What is your name?" we say, "¿Cuál es tu nombre?" not "¿Qué es tu nombre?" If we say, "What is your address?" ¿Cuál es tu dirección? What do you need? ¿Qué necesitas? What does she expect? ¿Qué espera? In case you don't know when to translate what as que or when to translate it as cuál, I'm going to post a link here at the top of the video and also in the description below explaining these differences and when you should use one or the other. But for our purpose here, we're going to focus on what, that in questions it could be translated as que and cuál, as we can see here, and in statements, affirmative or negative statements, it's translated as lo que. This is not what I said. Notice that I'm using what, but this is not a question. Esto no es lo que dije. So as this is not a question, I'm not asking what did I say, what did you say, well, the translation is lo que. What she did is crazy. Lo que hizo es una locura. Again, I wouldn't say que hizo es una locura. Lo que hizo es una locura. What you need is time. Lo que necesitas es tiempo. Is this what she expects? ¿Es esto lo que espera? And I know that some of you may be saying, wait, just wait a minute. Isn't this a question? And yes, it is. You are perfectly right about that. What happens is, although this is a question, in this case what connects the sentence instead of asking anything. So I'm not asking what does she expect. I'm saying, is this what she expects? So notice that the main question here is not what. I'm not asking what does she expect. In which case it would be ¿qué espera? But if I say this is what she expects, is this what she expects? Well, ¿es esto lo que espera? If you have any more questions about this, please post them in the comment section below, and as always, I will reply every single question quickly. No sabe lo que me pasó. You don't know what happened to me. Ayer llegué a casa, después de un viaje de negocios. Yesterday I got home after a business trip. Y cuando abrí la puerta del dormitorio, and when I opened the bedroom door, and then we switched to another scene en el dormitorio, in the bedroom. And Tom says, mi amor, pero, ¿qué? Pero... And the man says, hola, no es lo que parece, ¿qué es esto? My love, well, Tom is confused, of course, here. He's sort of stuttering there. And then the man says, hola, no es lo que parece. Notice another instance of lo que. And the whole phrase is, it's not what it seems. It's not what it looks like. Notice that we have lo que, because, well, this is what, but it's not really a question. I'm not asking what does it look like. That would be ¿qué parece? It's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. It's not what it seems. No es lo que parece. ¿Qué es esto? And then the conversation continues in the living room again, en la sala de estar. And Tom says, no lo puedo creer. Estaba con un tipo en nuestra cama. Can't believe it. She was with a guy in our bed. The word tipo, although it could be kind, type, informally it also means guy. She was with a guy in our bed. And his mother-in-law says, su suegra dice, no puede ser. Mi hija no es así. It can't be. My daughter is not like that. Así. Like this, like that, this way, that way. Es muy raro todo esto. So all of this is very strange, it's very weird, it's very unusual. Hay algo en todo esto que no me cierra. This is a good conversational phrase, meaning I can't understand the situation. I can't understand something, it doesn't make sense to me. So if I say, what Juan told me doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's not, something's missing there. Lo que dijo Juan no me cierra. So, no me cierra. I'm not convinced about that. It doesn't make sense to me. It feels that something's missing. Encima ayer le mandé un email para decirle que iba a regresar antes de mi viaje. Y me hace esto. No lo puedo creer. Encima. Good conversational phrase, very commonly used all the time. On top of that, to make matters worse, what's worse? So on top of that, to make matters worse, ayer le mandé un email, so yesterday I sent her an email, para decirle que iba a regresar antes de mi viaje. To tell her that I was going to return to come back earlier from my trip. Y me hace esto. And she does this to me. No lo puedo creer. I can't believe it. And his mother-in-law says, yo tampoco. Mi hija no es así. So, yo tampoco. Quick short phrase meaning, me neither. Neither do I. So Tom said, no lo puedo creer, I can't believe it. Me neither. Yo tampoco. Mi hija no es así. As we saw before, así, like this, like that. My daughter is not like that. Oh, ayer. Oh, ahora tiene sentido. Oh, yesterday. Oh. Now, it makes sense. Tener sentido, another amazing conversational phrase used all the time. Tener sentido means to make sense. Notice that in Spanish we don't use hacer sentido, right? We don't use hacer sentido, to do or to make. Actually, we use the phrase like tener sentido, to have sense. Ya sé lo que pasó. I already know what happened. Pay attention to these little phrases in which in English you may not say it exactly word for word. These things that we use in conversation that sometimes are difficult to predict. Well, why did you add this yeah? Well, that's something to pay attention to and try to memorize those expressions, but better than the expression, try to memorize the whole context in which it appears. I know what happened. Ya sé, and again, notice this, lo que pasó. One more time. I know what happened. Lo que, because this what that we would say in English, it's not really in a question, it's more in a statement. I know what happened. Ya sé lo que pasó. And Tom says, ¿En serio? Really? Claro. Of course. Ayer tuvimos problemas con la internet y estuvimos desconectadas todo el día. Yesterday we had internet problems and we were disconnected all day. Desconectado, desconectada, disconnected. Estoy segura de que mi hija nunca leyó el email que le mandaste. I'm sure my daughter never read the email you sent her. Notice this phrase, estar seguro o segura de. De is a very important preposition to add here. To be sure, to be certain about, this is followed by de, although, crazy as it sounds, we native speakers tend to forget about adding de, and it's very commonly you will hear us, estoy segura que mi hija. It won't change the world. If someone hears you missing that preposition, no one will get depressed and start to cry, right? But well, it's important to know that actually this should be estar seguro de. To be sure about something, to be sure about doing something. Estoy segura de que mi hija nunca leyó el email que le mandaste. I'm sure my daughter never read the email you sent her. Y Tom dice, oh, muy decepcionado, very disappointed, right, heartbroken. And now we're going to go over the tips to master Spanish vocabulary. We saw this in our previous video, but it's very important to remember. First, study this new vocabulary, make sure you have a very solid idea of the words. Next, watch the mini-dialogue as many times as you can, first with subtitles, make sure you can follow every single word perfectly, and then, without the subtitles, as many times as you can. Make sure that when you listen, you can recognize everything that's been said easily. If you get lost, just enable the subtitles, go back and forth until you can do that without the help of the subtitles. This will not only consolidate the vocabulary and make it active very quickly, but it will also make you aware of the blends that happen in between words. And finally, use it or lose it. Use this vocabulary as much as possible. Make it a point to use it in the next conversation that you have. Would you like me to make more videos like this one? Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I would love to hear how these activities are helping you improve your listening skills. My name is Julio Foppoli, and remember, I want you to speak Spanish like a pro. I'll see you soon.